Hello everyone and welcome back to another TSR track guide. Today we're at the home of British Motorsport. We're at Silverstone. A very lovely track, the driver's favorite as well and a fan's favorite, of course. Yeah, 18 corners we have around this track. There you see the layout. And I would say without further ado, we jump straight on board with TSR KaYBeE, who provided this lap for us today. So we jump on board with him. Now coming to the bit renewed, start finish straight, which is very short. So no DRS anymore on this straight. Coming over the line, and now we see what we've seen many times before. You hit the apex on the left hand side just to get a bit more speed through the first corner, where your first real threat lies, because you can cut the corner easily there on the inside, which of course you don't want to do. Full flat through this first turn. KaYBeE missing the apex here ever so slightly, but you want to hit that a bit more. Now also full throttle through this second turn, and now you're coming to the first real turn where you have to brake for. Basically, the start of the curb on the left-hand side is where you want to brake for this right-hander, and possibly a good overtaking opportunity if you have better tires than your opponent in the race, especially. But that's where you want to brake. Now down to probably second gear. KaYBeE missing the apex here once again. Now holds it in third. Goes down to second here. You can take a bit wider line through there just to maximize your exit speed and how fast you have your car lined up to put on the power as early as possible. Second gear, you can even opt for first gear, and through this corner you really have to set up your car for the Wellington straight, which you can see on the mini-map on the left hand side. That's what you want to do. Now taking a lot of curb there, opening up the DRS, now coming down the Wellington straight, probably your second best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. And now we can see very late until we brake for this left-hander here. And 50-meter broad is where you want to brake for this next left-hander, because the corner opens up a bit. You want to let your car go a bit wide and set up yourself for Luffield, which is coming up next. So missing the apex here again. Not the best run through there. And now you want to set up yourself for Luffield. Very tight line KaYBeE chooses here. You can take a bit of a wider line just to maximize your the point where you can put on the power through Luffield, where you can see not really on the power, letting the car roll into Luffield. Now third gear up to fourth gear and over the old start finish straight. And now coming to Cops, which is probably a very unique corner, because it's the old turn 1, which wasn't full flat back then. Let's see if it is right now. You can see he's full on the power, hitting the apex on the inside, not letting your car go too wide, because that could invalidate your lap time. Does that here fairly nicely, KaYBeE. And now coming to probably the most interesting sequence of corners, Maggots, Beckers and Chapel, where you can see hitting the apex on the left hand side, still full on the throttle, hitting the apex on the right hand side, and now lifting the throttle slightly on the brakes, letting your car roll, hitting the brakes once again for this next right hander, where you have to set yourself up for the hanger straight that is coming up next. You don't want to get too wide, and as we can see, KaYBeE is running a bit wide here, dipping into the grass on the left-hand side, like we saw with several drivers in the real F1 doing that, just because you want to take as much speed as you can through this corner and set yourself up nicely for the hanger straight, which is coming up now, opening up the DRS, and now your best overtaking opportunity coming down the hanger straight, being close to your opponent, will definitely help. And now we see stow is coming up. From the previous games, you could extend stow a lot. That isn't possible anymore. So you have to really decelerate your car and hit the corner like it's supposed to be. We can see just before the 50-meter board is where I want to brake for this right-hander. And as we can see by the braking input on the right-hand side, on the bottom right, from KaYBeE, yeah, going through this corner, hitting the apex on the inside is what you want to do. He's missing it again, so you don't want to miss that. Letting your car not go too wide. Like I mentioned, you could go very wide on the previous game, or games even, and not invalidate your lap time. Now you can. And now coming up to Vale and Club, and like we saw for turn 3, basically where the apex starts is where you want to brake for this left-hander, which is a very, very slow left-hander, missing the apex here ever so slightly once again. You want to hit that just to be as far to the left as you can for this next right-hander, which is Club. And yeah, setting yourself up nicely, not letting your car go too wide there, hitting the apex on the inside, and that's a lap around Silverstone. Now KaYBeE also provided his setup, which you can see on your screens right now. He's changing a bit just to show you that it's not always yeah, the same with the setup. You can differentiate between some setups and yeah, go through some different variations. But that's it from me. I say thank you for tuning in. I leave you alone with KaYBeE for another lap, and until next week.